To remove the bobbin, press the button as indicated by the arrow and just gently lift the door out of position. It's a drop-in bobbin, so it just sits in place and you can lift it really easily. The spool holder is in a horizontal position on this machine. Remove the cap, place the spool onto the spool holder. Don't try and point the spool holder up. The cap has a few little prongs. Use the small cap and place the prongs against the spool of thread, so it's just sitting inside that spool of thread. Make sure there's still a little bit of movement able to happen. When you're ready to wind the bobbin, grasp the spool thread in both hands so that when you put it around the tension disc, it's actually under tension. If you follow the guidelines on the machine, it's quite clear. You need to pick up the bobbin and look for the little holes that are in the rim of the bobbin. We need to thread the thread into one of those holes from the centre part of the bobbin. Now if you hang on to that while you put the bobbin in position on the bobbin winder and then lock the bobbin into position, you'll see that the LED display changes. Your speed control needs to be on full speed. Put your foot on the pedal to start winding that bobbin. Once you've wound a little bit while you're holding that thread, clip that thread so it doesn't get tangled in anything. Now you can resume winding the bobbin so that it's quite full. When it's finished, you can clip the thread, remove the bobbin. You'll notice that the stitch selector goes back to 1. Once you've finished winding the bobbin, unclip it. The stitch selector will go back to 1 and drop it back into the bobbin housing. Just drop it in there. There's a little hook that you need to look for, and you just need to move the thread off to the right and then off to the left so that it's hooked. Just making sure it's caught by that hook and then slide it around until it's about pointing to the 10 o'clock if it was on a clock face. To thread the upper part of the machine, use the thread guides in sequence. So starting with 1, make sure you use 2 hands to pull the thread around the very first thread guide so that it's under tension. Then go down to 2, working from right to left, then back up to 3. You need to make sure that the thread is properly hooked into number 3. Number 4 is a little bit tricky, and then there's a little thread guide just behind the shank of the needle, and you just need to guide the thread so that it's held out of the way when you're sewing. The last threading is the needle. This machine does have a needle threader that helps you, but try and thread them through the eye of the needle from front to back without using that. When you pull the thread through quite slowly so that the thread doesn't wrap around the needle in an awkward way. When you're ready to pick up the bobbin thread, just hold that needle thread in your left hand and press the top button and press it again to bring the needle back up again. This should pick up a loop of thread from the bobbin. All you need to do then is pull that loop of thread through so you have 2 long strands of thread, put them underneath the presser foot and towards the back of the machine, and replace the door on the bobbin housing. You're ready to sew.